What's good, YouTube? Sensational CLANCY'S here, and I'm back with another Tom Clancy's The Division Vendor Reset video. We're here for April 8th, 2022's Vendor Reset. So let's get right into this and see what we got good for this week. For our first gear items, head over to Camp Hudson. Here, the weapons vendor has an extended magazine. For our next gear items, we're still at the base of operations. Head over to the gear vendor here. We got a Spec Ops armor with the talent Vigorous. For our next gear items, head over to the base of operations. Here, the Dark Zone gear vendor has a military AK-47M. Next here, we got a prototype performance mod with 4% turret damage. And also here, we got a heavy magazine spring. For our next gear items, we're still at Camp Hudson. Head over to the gear vendor here. We got a tactical pack with the talent Specialized. For our next gear items, we're still at the base of operations. Head over to the advanced weaponry vendor. Here we got a Navy MP5N. For our next gear items, we're still at the base of operations. Head over to the special equipment vendor, and here we got a Liberator. Next here, we got a tactical M249 Para. Also here, we got a Spec Ops mask with the talent Refreshed. Next here, we got an operator vest with the talent Vigorous. Also here, we got a Spec Ops pack with the talent Relentless. Next here, we got a prototype electronics mod with 261 electronics and 1% critical hit chance. For our next gear items, we're still at the base of operations. Head over to the special blueprints vendor, and here we got a firearms mask blueprint with a gear score of 256. Next here, we got a vertical grip foliage green blueprint with a power level 34. And also here, we got a quick release magazine blueprint with a power level 34. For our next gear items, head over to Kerman Station. Here, the weapons vendor has a large suppressor FDE. For our next gear items, head over to Camp Clinton. Here, the special equipment vendor has a pecan if you want to run this weapon. Next here, we got a Liberator. Next here, we got a classic RPK 74. Also here, we got an operator vest with the talent Reckless. Next here, we got an operator pack with the talent Inventive. Next here, we got an extended magazine. For our next gear items, we're still at Camp Clinton. Head over to the special blueprints vendor, and here we got a surplus SVD blueprint with a gear score of 256. Next here, we got a classic M44 carbine blueprint with a gear score of 256. Also here, we got a firearms mask blueprint with a gear score of 256. Next here, we got a stamina knee pads blueprint with a gear score of 256. For our next gear items, head over to Madison Stand. Here, the gear vendor has a prototype firearms mod with 262 firearms and 1% critical hit chance. For our next gear items, head over to the Ward. Here, the gear vendor has a tactical vest with the talent Rapid. For our next gear items, head over to West 34th Street Checkpoint. Here, the Dark Zone vendor has an extended magazine. For our next gear items, head over to West 39th Street Checkpoint. Here, the Dark Zone vendor has a heavy magazine spring. For our next gear items, head over to West 53rd Street Checkpoint. Here, the Dark Zone vendor has a prototype performance mod with 7.50% support station range. For our next gear items, head over to East 64th Street Checkpoint. Here, the Dark Zone gear mod vendor has a prototype performance mod with 4.50% ballistic shield damage resilience. For our next gear items, head over to East 58th Street Checkpoint. Here, the Dark Zone gear vendor has a tactical pack with the talent Inventive. For our next gear items, head over to the Park Ave Checkpoint. Here, the Dark Zone weapons vendor has a military RPK 74M. For our next gear items, head over to East 53rd Street Checkpoint. Here, the Dark Zone vendor has an extended magazine. For our next gear items, head over to East 42nd Street Checkpoint. Here, the Dark Zone vendor has a Paratrooper SVD. Next here, we got a Spec Ops pack with the talent Specialized. And also here, we got a Pro Red Dot sight. For our next gear items, head over to DZ3 Safe Room. Here, the Dark Zone weapons vendor has an Infantry MG5. For our next gear items, head over to DZ8 Safe Room. Here, the Dark Zone gear vendor has a Spec Ops armor with the talent Rapid. And also here, we got a tactical pack with the talent Specialized. For our next gear items, head over to DZ9 Safe Room. Here, the Dark Zone weapon mod vendor has an extended magazine. Alright everybody, that's it for our Tom Clancy's The Division Vendor Reset video for April 8th, 2022's Vendor Reset. I hope everybody tuned into it found them something that they needed. Smash on that sub and like button, y'all. Appreciate that support, and I'll see y'all next time. Take care, peace.